Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
All right, it's Coffee Ann time here on ON, AM, and FM. Thanks for joining us on Wednesday morning. It's July 17th. A different kind of Coffee Ann because the makeup of the Coffee Ann panel has changed just a little bit.
It's improved is what you meant. It's improved.
Let me write that down. It's improved. As we've said before, John Ward can't be with us until he's pays to be on, and he will, but a little later on in August and September. Tim Draper is on vacation. Awful nice of him. So, I'm Joe Callahan at the coffee and table. Amanda LaRose from Navigant Credit Union. Hi, Amanda.
Good morning.
And from the San Antoine communities, Melissa Smith is back.
Good morning.
Robin did a fine job, by the way.
I know, I listened.
She did
She did great. I'm like, I'm done. I'm stepping out. Robin's in.
But
you have to come back when I'm on.
Now, Amanda, we were having fun with Robin.
Okay.
For the last 3 weeks, because the question is, when you come up to a drive-through ATM like you have at Navigant Credit Union,
okay.
What hand do you use to put your ATM card into the machine?
So most people probably leave their right hand on the wheel and reach out and put their left hand into the machine.
What do you do?
I put my parking brake on, open my door slightly, and use my right hand to feed it through.
See, you and Robin are the
Because
same.
I never want my card to drop, and then I have to squeeze out of the door to get my card.
So listen, your car is similar to my car in terms of the height of the window, and this is how it all came to the conversation started, was me feeling like you have to climb out of your car.
Yeah,
I said I critiqued
yourself.
the Navigant ATM machine for being a little too low. For the average driver these days is in an SUV. They're not in sedans anymore. They're mostly all a little raised up. And
so you want platforms for our ATMs?
Yeah, can you raise up about 6 inches?
I think there should be two
platform
shoes for the short and the tall. I'm just saying.
Two machines.
It's a minor request as a loyal customer to consider maybe putting them up a little bit. It's easier to reach up than it is to reach down, and I, like you, am afraid of dropping my card.
Yeah.
So you're with your left arm trying to hoist yourself up and over your door. So for those of you listening and not watching, I'm sure my arm motions are not helping you at all. But trying to really prop up with your left arm and climb over that window and hold the card with it's not good. But then Robin got tangled up into, what was her thing about?
Because she's right-handed.
Because she's right-handed, so
and
that's her.
Using her left hand, she's afraid she's going to drop the card.
Yeah.
So she'd rather reach across herself. I said, but it'll be easier if you do it with. And she said she'd give it a try, but she hasn't.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried using your left hand?
It's tough
when
am
you're not
left-handed.
Oh, you are.
I am left-handed.
And you're still putting it into the machine with your right hand.
I think just years of doing it just
we gotta really analyze that then. That's a whole different show conversation.
I want to be one of those cool people that could just pull up, keep my right hand on the wheel, drop my left hand out.
Those people are in sedan convertibles.
I can't get out of those.
There's no window or frame around the window. There's just free space to do it very cool and casually. But
I can't be one of the cool kids.
That's not us.
Well,
I'll bring that back to facilities though, about
lift them up a little.
Platforms for the ATMs.
Or just a high and low keypad option. Just,
All right.
Okay.
This portion of Coffee Ann is sponsored by the San Antoine community. So, Melissa, tell us what's going on over there.
And obviously Navigant. And we're not bashing Navigant at all. I just want to be very clear about that. We're having a good, light, fun conversation. And I'm sure every ATM by every bank has low keypad options. Yeah. Yes. Anyways, so you've heard me talk for months and months about our new memory care assisted living unit and waiting for the day to come where we're opening. And it's happening. I think before I was here last, a couple weeks ago, we had just acquired our state license. Couldn't officially open till it came in the mail. Well, it came in the mail while I was on vacation last week, of course. But what that means is we have the green light to start moving folks in. So we are beyond thrilled. So we are excited about that. And so for those of you that have not heard me talk about it, we have developed a brand new memory care assisted living unit on our property. We had one in existence on the property of the villa at St. Antoine, but it was only for 8 residents. So it was very small, and it was wonderful. It was like a little nook upstairs in our assisted living, and it worked wonderfully for the population that was there. But the demand is so great in our community in Northern Rhode Island, we had to expand it. So we are growing it to a 24 suite space, and it's amazing. I'm really proud of it. I worked really hard with the administrator of the Villa, Tammy Smale, to grow it and make it kind of warm and cozy with our furnishings. So if you are interested in coming by and getting a tour of the space, I would be so happy to walk you around myself. You can reach me at 401-767-3500 and hit option 3. We officially have an extension from Primrose Lane, and they'll connect you right to the unit where my office is. But yeah, we're moving in folks starting next week in little increments, like 3 or 4 at a time, just so that as we get ourselves settled and bells and whistles are all sort of ironed out. But yeah, we have a couple spots available. So if I can help you out, give me a call. Thank you.
All right, Melissa. Moving on to national stuff right at the beginning here. So, Melissa, working over the St. Antoine communities, we know that the man that tried to assassinate Donald Trump worked as a dietary aide at a nursing home. Please tell us, what does a dietary aide do?
This is what you bring into the conversation.
Yes.
You want me to dive into the brain of a dietary aide?
No,
And
I want you to tell us
roles
what
of a day-to-day.
what does a dietary aide do?
So, funny, not funny story, but what I will tell you is I myself was a dietary aide in high school.
Okay.
The majority of professionals in elder services, whatever capacity, administrators, social workers, nurses, whenever I talked to any one of them, most of them had started
That's how
out
they
in high
start.
school as a dietary aide and got
Okay.
inspired or found their love of working with elderly. So in terms of his day-to-day tasks as a dietary aide, it definitely takes like a natural social characteristic.
So there's a lot of interaction.
A lot of interaction, and I go back to the word compassion. I think there's like a natural built-in compassion when you're working with seniors at that point in your life as a 15, 16-year-old kid. You are trained in some ways, but there has to be a natural something there, desire to want to help others. And trust me, you don't last long in that industry if you don't have it. You'll get fired because if you're not kind to the elderly or you're not engaging with them,
They tell you about it.
the elders will tell you and your supervisors will tell you. I mean, it's a very delicate group, but it's also a special group of folks, and they deserve the best at that stage in their life. So I'm not quite sure if you're asking me if
Well, does he just deliver food at dinner time, lunchtime? Does he cook?
I don't know. There's
No?
no cooking if you're a dietary aide. It's
Okay.
delivering. It's
Delivering
taking
food.
down preferences and going and retrieving and it bringing to the person that.
Okay.
But no part of me. I was surprised when I heard that this shooter
that's
had it.
what he
I was
did.
like, "You've got to be kidding me!" So if that's what you're asking me,
Just
yes,
what-
I was shocked to learn that was his
Profession,
job as
yeah.
a 20-year-old kid. I'm going to call him a kid because he
He is.
looks like a kid.
He does look like a kid.
But it is unfortunate. I mean, I
Yeah.
think any kind of like human service job, you have some droplet of
Humanity?
softness and humanity
Yeah.
in you, and whether you like the guy or not or whatever, something was off. Obviously, something clicked for him. It is confusing. I haven't followed the story enough to know if they've figured out. I guess he was donating to the Republican campaign. He was a registered Republican.
Yes, on the registered Republican. He donated once to a Republican like PAC, but it was only $15.
Okay,
and-
but I
and-
mean, how much money do you have when you're a
And
20-year-old?
not much.
Yeah.
And I'm not, dietary aides. I'm sure they're not breaking the bank.
No, but
That
I just
kind of thing.
so you don't know if it's like my brain goes one way where you think, was he like registered that way because he just wanted to follow the campaign that much closer, or like in a twisted
Yeah.
reverse way, or did something change in whatever Donald Trump's position was on some policy?
Issue. Okay.
You
I don't
know, and maybe that was what. I don't know. There has to be something that drove that decision.
Wait, have you heard the good conspiracy theories out now?
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Heard any of them, Amanda? About
I don't want
how
to
he
know
was
anything.
you don't want to know anything.
Yeah.
I try not to. My husband gets very frustrated because my husband wants to talk about this.
Yeah.
But
and you
I
don't.
try to stay neutral
Okay.
in everything politics because I come across a lot of people on a day-to-day basis, and I never.
Across the board, yeah.
Yeah, I
so-
never want to put my views so I will listen to people and I will partake in the conversation, but I will never share my opinion on the
All right.
matter.
Well, some people are thinking that he couldn't work. He couldn't have done this alone. One, he's too young.
Right.
And with somebody or some group got a hold of him and said, you're gonna be the hero. Yes, you're gonna die, but you're gonna go down in history as the man that killed Donald Trump. so you're going to go out in basically a blaze of glory.
Yeah.
And somehow maybe that was appealing. Now, that's just a theory, of course. Because then now they're saying because the building was far too close
Yep.
to where he was, and how come no one, and he was confronted by a police officer on the roof, and he pointed the rifle at the police officer who backed down. And then he just turned around and, by the time the other cop went to go get more cops, he turned around and shot the president. So they're saying it's all a big, someone else is behind it. I'm like, well, okay, I can see that side, but I still think he worked alone.
But yes, so I toe the line here. I don't like to go into politics too much, so I'm going to stay away from that piece of it. But what I'm hearing on the news, and I like to listen to all walks of life, you get your CNNs, your Fox, your MSMs, everybody, just sharing that there was a lot of witnesses that were reporting seeing someone climbing up onto a roof with a gun, with a rifle. And you just think, how did that go amiss? Now, if there's conspiracy theory tied into that, that's one thing.
There is.
If people were turning their cheek intentionally. But I just feel like I don't understand how that made it all the way to Secret Service on their walkies, and no one was able to.
I guess my only question is, if there was a cop that saw him on the roof and the cop backed down,
Yeah.
aren't you trained?
Right, but that's where I think that's where some people are saying, was this like a cover up? And I think it's all just yucky. Let's be very honest. There's no real polished word that I can use other than yucky, because no one wants to see Donald Trump get killed. But I will say, I think I've said it on the air, I am shocked that there hasn't been an attempt sooner, because he is so radical. He's so insulting in some ways. I know some people love that and they latch to it. That's something that turns me off. But I'm surprised more people haven't made an attempt, or at least we've never heard about it. Maybe there have been attempts.
The Secret Service got them ahead of time, so you just don't know about it.
So I don't know what to make of all of this. It's been quite a revelation of conversation.
The question then for the two of you, mostly dealing with your kids, because this is the first time in their history, they've dealt with or seen an assassination attempt. And so what are they saying? Anything? Is it affecting them at all?
So my daughter, when this happened, my husband was very like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" And the news was on right away, and he was looking at stuff. So my daughter was kind of aware of it, but she's also 10, right? So she doesn't understand to that magnitude.
Too much. Okay.
So she was just kind of like, "Oh, that's kind of scary. Why would somebody want to do that?" And she kind of, and it's hard because I get it. People do not like him, but I still don't think anybody deserves to
be shot.
No.
To be shot, right? Like that's.
Yeah.
I don't care how much you hate someone. That's.
Yeah.
As we've had here before, if you don't like them, don't vote for him.
Right.
I know.
There you go.
Right.
Okay, so it's not affecting her too much.
No, it's not affecting her too much. I think it would have been different if it was somebody, or she was older and had a stake in the game.
Melissa, your kids are older, high school level.
Yeah.
What
So
are they
ironically, we were away on vacation, so we were intentionally taking a week off from news. We just tuned the world out for a week, and then it was so it happened Saturday afternoon. So I want to say it was Saturday night. We ended up going out for dinner, and it was like on a TV in the background, right? And we're like, holy crap, what did we miss? But by that point, they were reporting also on the fact that the firefighter gentleman, I forgot his name, had been killed behind him. And so I think my girls being a little older, their reaction was, okay, so help me understand. We're calling Donald Trump a hero in this moment, which we can get to that in a minute, right? There was a lot of references like, he's a hero. There was weird sound bites about that.
All right.
And then their focus was, why is he being called a hero? Not that he's not the president or former president that just got shot. We'll address that in a minute. But they were like, there should be more attention on this guy that died, and there has been slowly since then. But I think initially it was all centered around Donald Trump getting nicked in the ear. But their focus was on the compassion for the dad who was right behind him, who was with his family. So I think, and I think that's just media too, and how it depended on which channel you flip to. We were at a restaurant, so they just happened to have it on MSN. Would Fox have shown something different? I don't know. So it's also media driven. I guess your reaction, my kids anyways, would be based on what are they hearing from media. I think more to come, right? I think more to come when we learn more in the investigation and we have more fact, then I think they'll have more of an opinion. But it's all just awful. And like you started to say, I'm not a huge fan of Donald Trump for the most part with his attitude and commentary, but never would I wish him to get shot. And I think at the end of the day, I still respect him as a president, as a former president. And when he was in office, I respected him as a president, even though I didn't agree with all of his decisions. But equally, I got frustrated when people didn't respect President Biden with the change of arms, with the change of office when that took place, with the riots and everything. I just feel like it has to go both ways. It has to be respectful for whoever's in office. It's the president of the United States. He's been voted in. It can't be a split country like we are right now. It's very unsettling.
Okay. It'd be interesting to hear if your kids come up with more opinions and like that. So anyway, because the first one I remember happening that really affected me, I sort of remember when Gerald Ford got shot, but I was also like your daughter's age. I was like, well, that's too bad, but I want to go play ball now.
Right.
But when Ronald Reagan got shot, that was far more impacting at the time.
You certainly felt the need to point it out. I felt the need to say to my kids, like, this is a historic day.
This is
like,
big.
you had to say that because you wanted them to stop and sit. There's been a few moments like that in the last couple of years that I've had to say, like, you need to stop and sit and watch the news. Like, this, I want you to remember where you were when this happened. So, yeah, that had that impact for sure.
All right, we'll take our first break here in the Coffee and program. So we're going to get a second message now. Yeah, it goes by fast.
I wasn't ready for that.
Well, we were talking ATMs at the beginning, so.
Yeah, I mean,
and that took up time.
We should have just switched it all up and had me do my first commercial.
We should have. You were on a roll. You got your stuff all ironed out.
All right. Second message, please, from the St. Antoine communities.
So this is a really busy time of year for us. I mean, summer season, we do a lot of event planning. We do a lot of welcoming the outside community onto our property because we have just amazing rolling lawns and gardens and nooks and crannies on our property for families to come and visit. So we try our best to open it up to the public. Tomorrow night is one of those examples. So tomorrow night kicks off our summer concert series at the Villa. So at 6 o'clock tomorrow night, the band Illusions will be performing. I double-checked the weather this morning. It looks good so far. Last summer, we had a lot of hiccups with last-minute rolling in, thunder showers, had to cancel, pivot at the last minute. So we're hoping this summer's a little smoother. So tomorrow night, if you have nothing to do, the weather is supposed to break a little bit tonight. The heat temperature is supposed to finally lessen. And so I think tomorrow night it'll be around 85 at 6 o'clock. So come on out. Come to 400 Mendon Road, park in the front lawn, walk through the arch of the building. Come out and enjoy a wonderful concert with the band Illusions. All are welcome to attend. Thank you.
All right, Melissa, thanks. Coffee and will continue, and your comments and questions are welcome. Give us a call at 766-1240.
Are you retired or retiring soon? That's great. Congratulations. You may be retiring, but your money can't afford to retire. I'm Ed Carew of the Carew Investment Group at 2190 Mendon Road, Suite 3, Cumberland, Rhode Island. At the Carew Investment Group, we offer personal investment management of client money, especially from the proceeds of their 401k distribution after they leave the workforce. So to find out more about our services and for professional management of your investments, call Ed or Paul Carew at 765-8880. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
The Coffee and panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
ON, AM, and FM.
It is Coffee and here on ON Radio. We thank you for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan, along with Amanda LaRose and Melissa Smith. And we had a fire in the city of Woonsocket on Monday night. It displaced 3 different families. But what it also did, it killed 13 pets in the fire, of which 10 of them were ferrets. So 10 ferrets, 2 cats, and a dog.
Holy cow.
Passed away. A couple of cats, I think it was 2 cats survived. They were able to get them out. But, smoke,
Was there anything on what caused the fire yet?
Yeah. They're saying it was not that it was, there was a smoker on the 3rd floor.
Gotcha.
Area. And he put a cigarette in one of those tall receptacles that you're supposed to put them in. And he put it in there, but it was overfilled. These things do need to be emptied, and that sparked a fire, throwing the discarded cigarette. What you think you're doing is the right thing, but there's paper in there, and poof, and then it gets onto the porch, and then whoosh, and there it goes. But do you know anyone that's ever owned a ferret? Or do you own a ferret?
No.
No?
They're very. Aren't they very like not to be mean, but aren't they very smelly? Like their cages
Yes.
are like dirty, just
Them
like,
and
smelly.
the animal themselves is
Ugh.
not very
I
pleasant
just go back
smelling.
to Kindergarten Cop with Arnold Schwarzenegger and his ferret. Do you remember that? And that
I don't remember that scene.
he had a class ferret.
Yeah.
Right?
I do remember
and he
that,
was like,
yep.
yeah, I'm sorry. So whenever
Okay.
I think of ferret, I think, oh, so cute.
No, I've always
I don't
heard
think
they're
about
very
actually having it in my home.
smelly. They're
Yes.
very
Yeah.
smelly.
Okay.
But people usually like having one.
Yeah.
10 is a lot.
10 is
So-
a lot.
so
They're kinda
multiply that
slinky, aren't
smell
they?
by
like long
10.
and like
Well, think of like a squirrel, but longer.
and without a tail, right?
No,
Aren't
they
they
have
Oh no,
like
they have
They have a
tails.
long tail,
and they're
yeah.
and they're furrier. So
Yeah.
and they are part of the rodent family.
Do
so-
they curl up to you? Do they cuddle? Are they like a
I
good?
don't know how friendly they are.
Well, then why would you want so many?
I don't know, and I
Well,
don't know.
Maybe they were a breeder. Maybe they
maybe they
made
breed.
babies and sold them.
But I do wonder about that of people that that want exotic pets, and I've known people that have owned ferrets. I've known people that own snakes. I've known people that have owned tarantulas, thinking that, and the funny one is the one that owned the snake, who thought or told me that, oh yeah, the snake loves me.
Oh, no, it doesn't. It loves the food that you give it every single time you
Snakes
feed it.
have such tiny, and this was not a big python. This was a little one that you kept in an aquarium. These snakes have very tiny brains.
Yeah.
And if it could get out, it would and would go away. You would never see it again.
And
Right.
eat you.
It's
Well,
not like
it was,
it's
it was
No,
too
I'm just-
small.
It's not like it's gonna get out of its cage and come curl up with you and be
Well,
like,
but
"I love you
that's-
forever. I'm never
that's
gonna
right.
leave."
Leaving.
Because you give me a mouse once a week. They don't love you.
But see,
and
the
the same thing
ration-
with the tarantulas. They
Oh,
don't.
God.
If that could get out and walk away,
It's leaving.
it would.
Yeah, it's not gonna curl up at you and be like, "I'm never gonna leave you, buddy."
And
You're not. There's a reason why we don't have dog purses for cat, like snakes and mice and anything. They're gonna leave, people.
this happened at my house maybe, oh my gosh, 20 years ago. My nieces were staying over, and they had went out and they either found or they purchased a horseshoe crab. Well, but
Yeah.
I think
Yep.
so. They walk in. They go into shells to make the shell their home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And so we had it in.
Oh,
its
the
little-
hermit crab.
Hermit.
Yeah,
Oh,
hermit,
yeah.
crab.
Those are
Okay, yeah.
very popular.
So
yes,
it was
with
in its little container.
Yep.
And when I got up the next morning,
It was gone.
it was gone. It had crawled up and had pushed the. We had like the things you put cakes on to cool them,
Yep.
a cooling rack. We put that on top, thinking that would keep it in. Well, he pushed it off, climbed out, he was gone. Okay, they left a week later. Here comes the hermit crab walking down the hallway. Survived for a week. I don't know how, and I don't know on what, but
That
here he
would've
comes
freaked
walking.
me out.
Well,
That
we
would've-
just scooped him up and said, "No, see you later." I think we put him in the trash, but I just don't know what
the lure
what
is.
gets into people's minds. Let's have an exotic pet as opposed to a
I
cat or
don't
a
know
dog.
either. Even
So-
even hamsters and stuff. I don't get that either. I had a hamster growing up,
guinea
but it never
pigs.
loved me. It
Mm.
only bit my finger.
Yep.
But like you could what? Like sit there with your finger and stroke it. Otherwise, you can't curl up with it. They're gonna bite you.
Are they even
try
when
to
they-
run away.
even when they're out of the cage?
Yeah, I never had good luck with
Because I was
hamsters.
told people with hamsters and gerbils, don't put your finger in the cage; they'll bite it.
Right.
But if it was out, it was okay.
Mine never liked me enough for me to try
Yeah, no.
bringing them out. I even had one of those balls that like you snap it into and you let it kind of play or
Oh yeah,
whatever.
and run around. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But gerbils are a little more affectionate, from what I understand. But no, none of it. I have not allowed any of that in my house. I could not think about those things getting out, going around my house somewhere, and
Ooh.
not
Darn.
and losing them.
And yeah, crawling. around. So in third grade, my daughter's class had crayfish.
Oh yeah.
And
Okay.
so you enter a lottery to bring a crayfish home, right? And like, what do you
And
tell
she- and she
your
won.
third grader when they come home and go, "Mommy, I want a crayfish. I want a crayfish. Can we enter the lottery?" And you're thinking in your head, if there's 24 kids in the
My
class,
kid
the
won't get it.
odds
Oh,
of
the
getting a
odds.
crayfish are pretty low, right? Yeah, well, we
Surprise.
came home with a crayfish. And the thing stayed in its little house, never came out. What kind of pet is that? What do you
Oh,
do
how
with
dull,
it, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's not my thing. Okay, so back to the point of this house fire, though. It's tragic that all those animals lost their lives.
Well, yeah, it is.
it is.
It is.
It's too bad,
It is.
when
And
you-
3 families displaced. That's,
Yeah.
you know.
And I don't know if you saw pictures of it, and the house is totally destroyed. And
I
it's,
did
it's one
not,
of it's
but-
one of those 3-deckers.
Yeah.
So and it started on the 3rd floor. I mean, fully involved, flames and smoke.
Yeah.
So in that case, you think about yourself getting out. And
Yeah.
You can't worry about the furry animals. Sorry about that. And maybe the
Yeah.
firefighters will save some, but no people were hurt.
No people. That's all
So-
that matters.
so that
That's
was good.
probably the best.
Stuff can be replaced.
Yes,
you know?
that's right. But they even said, even with the generosity of drinking water with neighbors who brought over bottles of water. And the sun's rays and the smoke were tough to work through. People had to be treated on the scene, like firefighters and neighbors, that just because you're out there in the hot sun. 2 firefighters, 1 civilian had to go to the hospital. Heat exhaustion, and 2 other civilians treated for injuries. Maybe they, fell when they cut out of the house or something like that. But no one died. So it's good.
I don't know
But
what
the
I
house
would do.
is
I think about that a lot, probably more than I should. But I have a big fear of fires.
Yeah.
Yep. And my dog and the kids. I try not to think about it too much, but it is a scary thing, and I don't know how I would ever react in it. So probably have a heart attack.
We had another tragic event that happened in Smithfield. A motorcycle accident on Tuesday morning in Smithfield on Farnham Pike, and the victim was pronounced dead at the scene. 37-year-old Roland Bove of Woonsocket. The crash still remains under investigation. It doesn't say if he crashed into another vehicle. We don't have anything of that, so it looks like he just fell or hit a guardrail or hit a utility pole. Or motorcycles are dangerous, and you hit sand and it slides out from underneath here, and you don't know what happens.
Yep.
Was he wearing a helmet? Doesn't say.
I don't know.
Maybe he was, but maybe it didn't matter. Maybe it did. I don't know. But it still remains under investigation. So that's a shame that that person passed away. All right. So moving on, we're hoping the heat wave comes to an end.
That would be nice.
We were supposed to get some storms last night. We got like a weird weather alert, and then
Yeah.
it went away. But I think today we're supposed to get some stuff.
The cooling front is coming in, so we may see some scattered showers tonight. Maybe some thunderstorms as well, and lowering of the temperatures down into the mid 80s. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I just go home, it's just I don't want to do. I just don't want to do anything.
Right.
I don't have central AC, which is an issue. So if you're just sitting in the living room or kitchen, it's like ugh.
Yeah.
And we do have window air conditioners, but I have it for the bedroom, so you just go in there just to cool off.
Right.
So we were on vacation last week, and we flew into Virginia Beach before we ended up driving out to Outer Banks for the rest of the week. So the first day, but it was literally on the boardwalk in Virginia Beach, 100 degrees with high humidity. And
Right
you
on
think
the
to yourself,
beach, huh?
you're on the beach, so like
Where's that breeze?
there was nothing.
Wow.
I have never in my life, we walked a mile. I was drenched
you're
to the
drenched,
core.
yeah.
Even going into a building with air conditioning was not giving any relief. And I thought, this feels, we talk about global warming a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like, how is this even possible? This is just, it's unbearable. It's unbearable. You can't even get relief at a beach. So yeah, I'm ready for it to end, and it's only the beginning of summer.
I know.
It's only the beginning of summer, and the little black bugs too. Because I'm a morning workout person. I haven't been able to go outside in the morning.
That's when it's
before
coolest.
Work.
So,
but it's not even cool. It was like what 78 or something.
It
I don't even know
was,
what it was this morning. The black. I had to go right back inside again. I'm like the gnats, whatever they're called. They are.
Yeah.
They are. And I have an injury, so
They
I
gotta
can't
feed
run
you.
right now. So walking in it makes it worse because I feel like at least if you're running, you're
You
in
can run
motion,
faster than them.
But like walking, they're just like, and you give up. I know. Again, you can see my hands, but the people on air can't. But they're all just like swarming
around
your face,
yeah.
and you just spend the whole time swatting your face. There's nothing enjoyable about that.
I think my husband works in a manufacturing shop, and I have more respect for those people that work in manufacturing shops that cannot have central AC because of all the machines going and everything.
Oh yeah.
And I feel so bad for him that he literally comes home and jumps in the pool. But when you take a picture of the temperature gauge inside and it's 103 before the morning even starts, it's like
it's gonna be a
what
bad day.
you're gonna be
That's
sweating
so
the whole
unhealthy.
entire day. Yeah.
So unhealthy.
Yep.
Oh man.
Can he take any breaks?
Yeah, he takes breaks, and I got him like the cooling towel, and I got him the fan that you put around your neck.
Okay, yeah.
There's things that you can do to combat it, but unfortunately, the machines are producing so much heat, and then the heat outside, you're kind of stuck. But I try to remind him that it's for a short time, and then it'll be cold in there because winter there's no heat in there. So
yeah, so then you'll be freezing, and you're
Right.
gonna love it, right?
right. Or are you gonna complain that it's cold?
It'll be 15 degrees in there, and you'll be so happy.
All right, we're going to take a break here again on Coffee Inn and tell you to bring the weather forecast. Speaking of how hot it is, weather forecast being brought to you by KFC.
Mostly sunny skies
So
today with a
our
high near 90, heat advisory in effect for feels like temperatures over 100 and a calm wind. Tonight, there's a 40% chance of a shower or thunderstorm and mostly cloudy skies. Overnight low of 70 degrees, up to a quarter inch of rain is now predicted. Thursday's weather, partly sunny with a high of 86. Friday, sunshine and 84. Saturday, mostly sunny and 87. Sunday, sunshine and 88. Monday, mostly sunny and 86. And next Tuesday, partly sunny skies with a high of 84 degrees.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street with the mostly sunny skies. It's hot and humid. We have 82 degrees. The new Taste of KFC deals start at just $4.99. Grab a drum thigh, creamy mashed potatoes, and a biscuit only at KFC. Prices and participation vary. Tax, tip, and fees are extra.
Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogies with onions and what they call dirty sour cream. Or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported foods. Open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 9 in the morning till 6 p.m., Wednesdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays from 8 to 5 p.m. It's Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse. Follow us on Facebook and learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street, Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love. For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, two locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hi, this is Kevin, host of Kevin's Sports Show, every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 on WOON 99.5 FM, 1240 AM, and WoonsocketRadio.com. Follow all your New England teams and your local athletes. Call in at 766-1240 to Kevin's Sports Show every Saturday morning.
And it's Coffee In on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Melissa Smith and Amanda LaRose from Navigant Credit Union. So, Amanda, time for our first message from Navigant.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I just wanted to let everybody know that Navigant, as you know, we give a lot of donations back to our community with our charitable fund and our donation group. But there's one other thing that some people forget about or maybe are not aware of is that since 1997, Navigant Credit Union has been giving scholarships to graduating high school seniors for their first start of college for the year. So we now have just given out our last round, which was this year, scholarships to 19 members of the credit union. So they had to be members of the credit union. We gave them $1,500 each to start their journey of their first year of college. So there is a press release out there, and if you'd like more information about it, you can go to our website at www.navigantcu.org or call us at 401-233-4700.
Are you smart making the check out to the college?
No, we actually make it out to the students so they can purchase books or whatever they need to.
All
My
right,
nephew was a recipient 2 years ago, and I have to tell you, it does make a difference because even he was able to get his Chromebook. Apple Notebook.
Yep.
Apple Notebook, and to get some of his starter stuff that he needed for school. I think that's just it makes such an important dent in that starter stuff, and the fact that you give it to the kid directly.
Yep,
it's
absolutely.
I like how you said that though. You're, like the kid's gonna,
Well, I just remember back in my college days, any kind of grant or scholarship I got, it was always made out to the school. I said, "You don't trust me?"
Yeah, you're 18. You're going to the casino. Not the case.
No casinos back then. All right, down in the East Providence, the Etna Bridge Company, they've been given the okay to move forward. They're going to be paid $45.7 million to take the bridge down.
Wow.
Nice business to be in if you can get into it. Now, they don't build a new bridge. All they do is knock it down. And Dave tells me, there's restrictions. They can't blow it up, and they can't let it fall into the river. So this is why it costs so much money.
Disassemble it?
That's right. We're going to have to go in and cut it.
like
and take
chip,
it away.
chip,
It's
piece
like,
by piece.
It's like a Lego thing, and take pieces away.
chip,
and
chip.
I don't know what they're going to do with it. I don't know where you bring it. So
Well, I
it's
think maybe all the different materials, right? If it's concrete, they can grind it back up and
okay,
reuse
it'll be
it.
concrete and steel.
The
This is what we're
steel,
hoping
they
happens.
can melt it down and
Yeah.
Yeah.
remake it something new.
But now it's also going to take that much longer
yeah.
to get around to doing it. So they haven't said where they're going to start, when they're going to start, but they expect the project to be done by the end of this coming January, 2025.
Oh, that's not bad.
So look for them to start probably in
Just
the fall.
to take it down.
That's just to take it down. Now the funny thing is, no company has put in a
bid.
bid to
Yeah.
build a new one. There's a lot of restrictions, and so all the companies took a look at it and said, "No, I don't think so."
I mean, I've done a lot of team building projects where I can build a bridge out of popsicle sticks. I'm not sure how reliable it is long term, but
Oh, well, that's something to consider. Well, I think like any other industry, there's shortages.
Yeah.
And my
well, there's
nephew is in
material
engineering.
shortages too. So
Well, yeah.
I know
taking
there
that into
is.
consideration when somebody's putting a bid in, if they can't get the materials to build the bridge,
Yep.
In the timeline that you have provided
Yeah.
us to do it, said, "Sorry, it
Yeah.
just it can't be
yeah.
done."
So he's an engineering student at Villanova, but he obviously lives in Rhode Island. The one that got the Navigants.
okay.
Yep. So you'll be happy to hear the story. But so last summer was his first summer home from college, and he was able to hook up with a job with DLT, well RIDLT, and he got an assignment at the 146 project over here, and he was paid generously, like $20 an hour, but he was basically filling a void of a paid worker just to stand there, log the numbers, take measurements, whatever. So whatever they were yelling out. But he talked about that. He's like, there's staff shortages in this line of work too, Auntie. And he's like, it's incredible. He's like, I'm going on the designing, like structural side of it, but just like hands-on workers,
Yeah.
it's just not enough staff.
Wow.
He's on a job assignment now up in Boston doing a private, like engineering opportunity. So they're building some structure in Boston. So he's getting a different taste of it. He goes, same thing. He's like, there's not a lot of staff. So what can you do? I'm sure
Yeah.
there's companies that would like to bid on it. I'm sure there's like logistics that maybe aren't attractive, but
This will take
it's
30
good
people
pay.
to
Yeah.
bring it down, and I don't have 30 people.
Right.
Well, don't
So-
forget the scrutiny of, I mean, they probably won't be able to close it within the appropriate
Oh,
amount of
well,
time,
that's
and
right.
then the scrutiny and
Yeah.
the backlash for that. Who wants that?
Right.
So it'd be a big magnifying glass.
So we'll see what the state does with that to try to attract businesses to build it. Down in Warwick, little issue with one of the council people down there. Donna Travis, she pled no contest to a misdemeanor charge, filing a false document. And Travis filed a false document to acquire property next to her home from the Oakland Beach Association, but the association did not sign off on the land transfer. She's received a 1-year suspended sentence, 1-year probation. She must return the plot of land. she doesn't get the land.
Oh my God.
So
What goes through people's minds?
no one will notice.
No one will notice this, but just the greed attached to it too, like
Yeah.
the power trip of I can do this because I'm in a position to do it.
And I'm maybe I'm in a position of power.
It's
I'm on the
unbelievable.
Warwick City Council. I'm an
It is.
important person,
Yep.
and this will.
No one will question this.
No one will question it. Yeah.
So this one was brought to light, but I'm sure there's
Yeah.
lots of other examples out there for very similar people on
Have you-
other town councils and city councils.
And I've also read on I believe it's Channel 12's website. So up here in Woonsocket, of course, I mean you've probably heard about all the personal information that was publicized by the public service director. This is why they couldn't have their city council meeting on Monday. He gave a 43-page report that was included in the agenda, and in the 43-page report with people's names and their addresses and their social security numbers and their phone numbers and other personal information like health situation and things like that. And it was made public. It was on the city's website, and it was on the Board of Elections
it.
state website for at least 12 hours. It went from Friday night all the way into the weekend before they could figure out how to take it down.
Well,
and
good
so
news, I never flipped through that kind of
some
stuff. But
some
holy
people
cow, some
have-
people did.
Well, they've Channel 12 came up and reached out to, because they saw it, and they reached out to the people that were on there and say, and now they're thinking of suing, and
Oof.
they've got a really good case.
John,
I know it's politics.
No, you know what I think about, and I'll throw this out there, right? And I talk to people all the time. We're all human, right? We all make mistakes.
Yep.
It's very easy when we're typing to transpose a number or misspell something, and sometimes we're in a rush and we're not paying attention, and that's not an apology or giving them free reign. But we are human and we make mistakes. So if it was legitimately a mistake, I feel bad that it happened.
Well,
but it's a mistake, right? Like that's.
Well, that's it. And even the mayor has come out and said, well, this was obviously a mistake.
Right.
But if you're having surgery and
Right.
they cut off the wrong leg, well, sorry, it's a mistake. I'm still I'm
Right.
not
Yeah.
happy now, kind of thing. So
Well, that's why they mark you before you go under the knife. 'Cause
Well, they
if
should
They
you.
mark the wrong leg and you say yes, then you're in trouble.
Right, left.
I've-
My right,
Wait,
you're
left,
right. My
left,
right, you're
left,
right.
I've actually had fun with my doctors going in for a procedure because they'll ask me, do you know what you're here for? Yes, I know what I'm here for. Do you know what you're here for?
I always say, did you drink your
Wow.
coffee in the morning? Did you have a good breakfast? And
you
can I
wide
have the
awake?
good stuff because I have really good insurance?
So yeah, that always gets a good laugh. Well, yeah, I know what I'm doing.
I wish medicine would evolve. We're going way off script now.
Yeah.
I wish medicine would involve like the option these days. Like I have multiple health things happening at once. If I'm gonna go under the knife, can we just bang them all out at
Yeah.
once?
A
Can we
twofer.
just like yes?
Yeah.
Why am I getting put under for this when you could at the same time while I'm out take care of it? Can we just line them all up? All the specialists, just get them all on the same page. Wouldn't that just be awesome?
That would be great.
I think my insurance
pull
company
off.
would like it too, right? Like I just think
Oh
it's
yeah, get it all done at once. So
all
we
at
never, and we'll
once.
never hear from you
rehab
again.
all at once. I'm gonna be like, a tune-up,
Bionic woman,
like
right?
a bionic woman.
Tell me if you think this is a good idea, since we'll stay on health for just a little bit. Like either pick your favorite a pharmacy.
Okay.
Could be CVS, could be Walgreens. But there needs to be a line at the pharmacy for people that are just picking up your
Who are
prescription
sick.
and who pick up their prescription and we have no questions.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yes.
don't need. I'm not here for long discussions. Like the person in front of me
Yep.
always
Yeah,
has a
Let me
long
just pay
discussion
and go.
and leave.
Tap and
Yeah.
go.
I want-
tap and go.
You
I
need
want the
3 lines
express
then,
lane.
because I'm going to add the sick lane. There needs to be a sick lane, and that needs to be with plexiglass on one side of
All
them. Then there needs to be people with questions checkout.
Yeah.
And then there needs to be the express. I'm just picking up a refill.
That's right. And they always
Yes.
ask, "You have any questions for the pharmacist?" No, I just want. I
I
just
know
want
how
to go.
they have the Amazon lockers now, like where you go in
Yeah.
for
Oh,
like a little
yeah,
code.
okay.
Maybe that. I'm going to
Maybe
pick
that.
up a refill.
It's in the
Put it in my
locker.
locker. Email me the code.
Yep.
Go.
Take a second.
I got to tell you,
All right.
the CVS in Cumberland has a drive-through, and I know the one over here in Nussmanfield has one, and
Yes.
I've never really fully bought into it. And then one day I'm like, I am so tired of getting in line and having somebody in front of me ask 14 questions about each medication that they have.
Yes.
So I use the drive-through now
All right.
because
It's quicker.
they're like, do you need to speak to the pharmacist? No.
No, that's why I'm in the
Go. That's
drive-thru.
why I'm in the drive-through. I want to go, and it is so much quicker and easier.
So maybe there's something to be said about that. So the CVS here in town has 2 lanes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one lane needs to be
For
for
questions.
questions, and the other one needs to be, I have a sick kid in the back seat. Give me the gosh darn
Yeah.
prescription so I
So
can
I
get
get
home
out
and
of
give it
here.
to them.
Yeah, like
I like
if
these
you're
ideas.
sick, you do not want to be waiting.
CVS,
behind
are you
somebody.
listening? Walgreens, are you
'Cause
listening?
I was at the pharmacy one time, and the clerk was saying, "Okay, ma'am, you have to go to the consultation area."
Yeah.
And she kept asking
Yeah.
more questions.
Yep.
And he kept saying, "You 3 times. You have to go to the consultation area," where the pharmacist was standing there waiting to speak to her, and she wouldn't move.
Oh
and now
my
in my mind, I
gosh.
go, "You want to scream out? Will you just move?"
Oh my God. I have one more idea.
All right, what's another
So
one?
in addition to the lines, I'm
All
just
right.
thinking, I'm channeling back to when I used to have sick kids often and you felt like you
Yeah.
were constantly having to go to the pharmacy for strep throat or whatever
Yeah.
to pick up antibiotics. There needs to be like 2 kinds of grab and go packs too. Like grab and go for like strep throat remedies. So give me like Freezy Pops, Gatorade, whatever.
Yes.
Tylenol, etc. And then
Yeah.
in the other one, probably for like stomach virus. Like there needs
Oh,
to be
yeah.
Pedialyte,
Alright,
whatever.
yeah,
there needs to be
yeah.
2 packs that way I'm not walking through your store passing on my
Germs.
Germs.
I
everything.
love germs,
Yeah.
but I'm just grabbing my pack or I'm asking you to ship it through the tube at the pharmacy
Yeah.
so I can just get out of there. Because why else do you go to the
Marketing-
pharmacy for the most part unless you're sick? And then
Yeah.
if you're waiting for a prescription and you're sick because the line is so long, you're going around the whole store picking up, nail polish. Oh, I need some shampoo. Oh, I need bar soap. And now I've spread my germs all over your store.
Well, that gives
Yeah.
them more business, though,
More
right? Because
Oh,
now the
yes.
next person who gets the flu is going to go
It's
in and
That's,
do
coming
the
back.
same
their
thing.
angle the
That is
whole
their
time,
angle.
spreading germs.
While for us it's more convenient, for them it's a money. Oh, yep.
And I felt bad for the man that was just in front of me, who wasn't picking up a prescription,
Yeah.
but picking up some medicine that they have behind the counter.
Right.
Like for whatever reason,
the Sudafed.
Zyrtec
Oh, yeah.
is behind
there
the
are
counter,
some of them behind the counter.
Yeah.
Even Sudafed.
and they want to
Yep.
see your license, and
Yep.
they,
To
well,
make
we
sure
got to
you're
scan
18,
that and,
yeah.
and all that. So I felt bad for him because he was going to be even quicker than me.
Yeah.
Because he knew exactly what he wanted. It was right behind her. He's pointing at it. Mine. You give your name, they have to go walk and find it. So he was getting frustrated
Yeah,
too with
that
the lady.
is-
Please
yeah.
move on
But
to the
again,
consultation area.
we talk about workers, right? They
Yeah.
are at a shortage for
They've
workers.
got shortage,
All
too.
pharmacies
Oh,
are at
yeah.
a shortage for workers. So, and more people are getting prescriptions for stuff, and
Yeah.
so there needs to be some empathy. But you're right. If there's a consultation window, we need to be at that window.
But
I
I
agree.
like the express line for.
Yep.
And it should actually say that. No question
Yes,
line.
yes,
We have no
yes.
questions. We're just picking up and leaving.
If you ask a question, we're walking away.
We're not going to
Yes.
answer it. We're not.
Yes.
Oh, we're going to charge you. Oh, that's another $10.
I do have to give them credit though. Well, in some ways it drives me crazy, but in other ways I love it. Like refills, for example, they'll text you to remind you that you're due for a refill, and you can confirm it, and you have to pick it up within 24
And it's ready.
hours.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
if you
yeah.
don't, if you miss it by even a minute, they remind you like it's waiting for you. We're going to hold
Yes.
it for one more
Day,
day.
and then we're putting it
I
back.
kind of
That's
like
right.
that. So when
I
you do go in, it versus going or calling and then it's still not ready yet.
Oh, yeah, we're
like it's
working
telling
on
you
it.
it's ready, and I kind of I do like that.
Yep.
Oh my God! By the way, John would not tolerate any of us going rogue. We have gone.
Oh, we
Rogue.
have gone left,
We
right,
have
and
gone
center.
all over. You start with
I
one
know,
topic. I
and
think
we
we
just
started with the house fire in
I know,
Woonsocket, and we
that's
have
like we are.
somehow gone.
All right. Well,
All right, let's try to get back on track.
We will with a second message from Navigant Credit Union, please,
Excellent.
Amanda.
So Navigant Credit Union is growing yet again. We are ready and set to open our 26th branch down in North Kingstown. The building is coming along great. Renovations are being made. It's going to be a state-of-the-art, very easy for everybody to use. Our staff is now hired and in our training program, learning all about DNA, our internal system, and all of our policies and procedures. They are going to be ready to meet and greet you soon. We do not have an opening date, or I don't have an opening date as of yet, but we will keep you updated on that. But if you'd like more information about any of our locations throughout Navigant, go to www.navigantcu.org or call us at our contact center at 401-233-4700.
Thanks, Amanda. More of the Coffee and program is coming your way. Stay tuned.
Hey, Red,
Who? Me?
your face is beet red and you look like you're gonna pass out.
Well, I'm a little dizzy, but working outside in this heat, what are you gonna do?
You're in danger of heat exhaustion, my friend. And if you want to finish up this job today and get paid, you need to take a break in the shade and drink some water. Now, got it?
Yeah, but I gotta.
You gotta stay safe and healthy to stay on the job, right?
That's true.
A message from the Rhode Island Department of Health and the Rhode Island Broadcasters Association.
Hello, my name is Paul LaValle, and I'm from the Woonsocket Council Knights of Columbus. We are sponsoring a scholarship fund raffle tickets that'll benefit the Woonsocket Catholic School Regional School System. There are only 100 tickets being sold. They are $50 each. The first prize is $1,200. The second prize is $500. The third prize is $300. You can contact any Knight of Columbus or myself at 401-651-5533 to purchase tickets. Thank you.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
All right, it is Coffee and here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan with Amanda LaRose and Melissa Smith. And down in Providence, they have decided to return to a shorter school day this fall. Because of COVID, they decided to go to a 6-hour, 45-minute day. And I guess they ran out of funds to do that. So they're going back to 6 hours and 15-minute school days for middle and high school students.
Isn't there a requirement for how many hours they're supposed to be in school?
I'm not sure if there's an actual hours. Is
There's
there?
an hours. Well, there's
There's
an
the
hours
day.
per week that a child has to be in school, because they were, and I think they were looking into it because there was something that came up in Cumberland about early release days, and they're like, oh, the kids have to be in school for so many hours in order. So
Yeah.
Oh, I got a little backwards. So they went to a longer day. They added 30 minutes to recover from pandemic learning losses.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
got
so
it,
after
got it.
September 30th of this year, the ARPA COVID funds can't be used for payroll. So next year, elementary students will have a 6-hour and 15-minute school day. Middle and high school will return to 6 hours and 45 minutes.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
That's
That's
what's
why.
going down.
Okay.
False
down there in-
news.
Sorry
fake
about that.
news.
Fake
Joe.
news. Fake news.
Joe.
It's close enough news.
It's about right.
You probably heard about this, but and it makes perfect sense. The Mediterranean diet could improve children's heart health. The diet, which focuses on plant-based cooking along with fruits, beans, seeds, fish, and lean meat, has shown benefits for adults too. New research shows children on a diet for at least 8 weeks showed drops in blood pressure and cholesterol.
Yep.
Well, of course, it's the good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it makes perfect
It's actually
sense.
pretty tasty. I'm not saying I'm a strict Mediterranean diet person.
Mm-hmm.
I like a lot of the recipes associated with it.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty tasty stuff.
You like the lean meats and the fish and
This time
stuff
of
like
year,
that?
summer,
Yeah.
like that kind of, it's mostly all light and cool
Light,
stuff.
yeah.
You know, a lot of grilled options, lots of vegetable options.
Mm-hmm.
Before we enter the fall, where it becomes cozy,
Did you?
batches of meatballs and sauce
Beef
and chicken
stew.
parm and yeah.
Now, last night was the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. The night before
Oh,
was the
yes.
Major League Baseball Home Run Derby. And so this Grammy-nominated country music singer, Ingrid Andress, comes out
Yeah.
to sing the national anthem.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It is now considered the worst performance of the national anthem
But she apologized, didn't
ever.
she?
Well, you know why she apologized?
Because she was drunk.
Because she was drunk.
I
Wow,
don't know
she
if
went
am I
out
the
to
only one
sing.
that doesn't think she's drunk? I feel bad for saying that.
Well-
And please do not judge me. I just
I've only heard a very little of
when
it.
I
It did
watched
not
it,
sound
I
good.
did not. Oh yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible. But I didn't think that she was drunk, and I don't know if the crutch is there to say that so that it'll be forgiven. Is that awful to say?
I don't know if people would forgive. I would much rather say there was a medical condition.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to rehab. I didn't
Well, that's what she's saying now.
I didn't
She's
watch it and
drunk?
say, "Oh, I bet she's drunk." I didn't watch it and
No.
say that to myself. I just said,
Right.
"This is really bad. There's got to be something maybe wrong with her earpiece,
Nope.
something." Her
Basically,
behavior didn't look.
now
oh.
she's not saying she's an alcoholic,
Mm-hmm.
but she did say, and she posted on her social media, that she was drunk and she'll be seeking help. So I don't know if she has now figured out or wised up that she has an alcohol problem.
That's what
or
I feel
not.
bad. If I'm being insulting to anyone in that fashion, I really am not an insensitive person. It seemed too quick to say, "Oh, I got all this backlash. Hey, I'm checking myself into rehab," as like a reason or an excuse for what you might have witnessed, whether she has a
Right.
problem or not. Like it was a
Mm-hmm.
quick solution to put an excuse attached to it.
Right.
But I
Or
don't know
maybe-
enough about her, so
maybe.
now I feel judgy for
Yeah.
expressing that out loud.
No, I don't think judgy.
But for anybody who watched it, I mean, when I saw it, I just thought this is a really bad performance. We've seen other singers do the same.
Yeah.
And I just thought there's got to be some feed issue going on for her. Her pitch is just way. Because I actually like her as a musician. My daughters are fans of hers.
Oh, really?
But
Wow.
I didn't at any point say to myself, "Oh, she's acting drunk." Like there wasn't a stumbling
No,
or
a
swaying.
slurring of words.
She was. Yeah, but it was not really slurring like drunk slurring. It was just pitchy.
Okay.
I think we'll
that-
watch it
that's-
when we get off the air. We'll give it another round. I haven't watched it again to say maybe she was drunk.
When the players are on the field, are laughing at her.
That's bad.
Things are bad.
Maybe if I could see her walk out to the spot, that
Yeah.
would indicate to me if maybe she
Okay.
was a little bit intoxicated. So I need the full reel.
I don't know if they still do it, but Fenway Park
Mm-hmm.
used to have people that were going to sing the national anthem come out in the afternoon before the game would be at night. They come out in the afternoon and would record them singing the national anthem. From what I remember being told back then, is because of the reverberation, hearing your voice coming off the Green Monster would throw you off.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna practice singing the national anthem. We're gonna record you singing the national anthem, and then when it's time for you to actually sing it in front of the crowd,
Yeah.
you're gonna lip sync to your own voice
Right.
of what we just recorded a few hours ago, and that way no one made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was off key or off pitch, okay, stop, do it again until you got it right.
Right.
And maybe at major nationally televised things like this, maybe they should go back to that and say, do you have a recorded version of it that
Yeah.
you can just pretend you're singing to?
Yeah.
And that way you're going to sound okay and no one's going to give you a hard time.
I guess it's a shame whoever was her manager or,
Who
not
let her go out there?
Would let her go
stopping
out
and
there.
saying, "Hey, I don't think we need to.
Well, now
We can play the national anthem."
from somebody else.
Right.
And that's
But
where I
now-
would think if there was drinking involved, that would have been a
Yeah, but
full
now
moment.
But now it comes down to money. If you don't go out there and sing the national anthem, we're not going to pay you the $50,000 we said we were going to pay you
Yeah.
because you didn't hold up your end of the bargain,
Yeah. This is a.
and
this
now you
is
miss
a,
out.
It's a divided topic, I guess. I feel bad for voicing my opinion. I wish I could go back and just shut up and not
Mm-hmm.
say anything. But it just makes you think sometimes people in Hollywood or people of that like level of popularity and notoriety just crutch back onto like, oh, something bad happened. Let me just, I'll blame it on my addiction or whatever, and I'm just gonna. It just seemed like a very, very fast to the backlash. Not a couple days later. Like, I've had time to think about this. I really think it's best for me to.
Well, maybe
take a
her
break and
manager
step
said
away.
you got to come out with something quick.
I think that was too quick. That's why it made
Yeah?
it feel a little bit
Okay.
like disingenuous, I guess.
Well, it's just with the internet and X and
Yeah.
Facebook, the tweets going out are they're so fast
Yeah.
and they're
Uh-oh.
so immediate.
Oh, I know it's coming in. Melissa, you are very insensitive.
No.
To the panel, was the drunk country singer's version of the national anthem worse than Roseanne Barr's? Some people are saying yes.
Yeah, it felt a little bit
And
uncomfortable.
well, they're giving her, they're not cutting her as much slack because Roseanne was not a singer, and
Right.
she never said she was a singer.
Yeah.
Ingrid, is country music
She's made a lot of money.
nominated,
Yeah.
Grammy nominated
She's gotten-
artist. So
she's good.
they expect a lot more from a person that says, "Hey, I am a singer."
Yeah.
So is it worse? Well, that's your opinion, but
When it first
quite
happened,
possibly yes.
the feed online was a lot of people like me thinking, oh, her earpiece must not have been working because that was causing like an
Yeah.
imbalance. Maybe there was like
Okay.
an equilibrium thing. So I was going along with agreeing with that. And so I think the next day to find out it was drinking just seemed, I don't know. So
All right.
topic change.
All right, I want to let the two
Back
women,
on track.
know this happened last week, maybe the week before, for the first time at Polar Park with the Worcester Red Sox.
Yep.
Female umpire.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Now
that.
it's her 9th year.
Yeah.
It's her 2nd or 3rd year working AAA baseball. They do it the same as the players. You start in single A and you work your way up. But it was the first time she was.
Oh, good for her.
She was there, and and not only that, she's the crew chief. She's in charge of the 2 other guys. So whenever like Major League Baseball or wherever the umpires come down, they talk to the crew chief first, and then they move on. And so the first game there, she was behind the plate,
Awesome.
calling balls and strikes, and she was great.
That's
Not
awesome.
not an issue. No one's arguing with her that her calls are bad or anything like that. So not only is she really good at it, she knows the game and is really good at her job.
That's
Yay.
awesome.
And so,
Yay.
but you could tell it was definitely a female because there's a ponytail underneath that underneath that mask. It goes down halfway down her back.
I'm happy
so
for her.
so yeah.
I
so-
like that there's more and more attention being brought to
And
female
she's-
refs in the NFL.
and you might hear more of it, and you do see that on the NFL.
Yeah, that's yeah.
As well. But you might see her. Her name is Jen Powell, I believe. And now that's after the All-Star game, umpires start taking vacation, so
Yeah.
you might see her on the
In the
Major League
mix.
level as well, just filling in
Right.
now. And it's tough being an umpire because to make it to Major League Baseball, you got to be good and you got to have the right timing. And because
Doesn't it surprise you a little bit that it's taken this long to have that kind of like change in having a female ump?
I just didn't know how many females were interested in being umpires.
True.
Because they have umpire camps and things like that, and to teach them how to do this. And whenever I've seen them, I've never seen any women.
Because
in
sometimes
the camps.
refs and umps haven't even ever played the sport. They're just like
Yeah.
very educated on it, and their reaction time is very fast, and their eyes are really good. It's not even a physicality thing sometimes to be. Well, in some cases, some sports require it, but
Yeah.
in baseball, no. So like, why so long before there's been a female?
Maybe they just didn't. Not enough people thought that I know the game enough. I didn't play it. Like in basketball, the WNBA has women referees. Well, they probably played all through high school and
Right.
all through college, so they know the game very, very well. Women's ice hockey have women referees as well because they played the game as well. Baseball is different. Softball is similar, but there are different rules.
The only
for
sport I've
softball
been
and
very
baseball.
uncomfortable with seeing a female ref in has been in men's soccer. Have you ever seen a female ref in men's soccer
I
game
have
before?
not.
I
Yes,
have, and it's
I
very
saw a
uncomfortable.
clip of
Why is that?
2 of the men.
They get right
kinda,
up in the face
Oh,
of the female
men
ref.
do, and
Yeah.
and yell and scream and
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
uncomfortable. I feel like it's a line crossed, and
Yeah.
and they handle themselves very well, better than I could, to be honest. But I
And
just
soccer
feel like
players,
there's a little bit
they're
of
good
a
size, so they're yelling down probably at the female referee.
well, and honestly, like in men's soccer, it's all flopping. It's ridiculous.
I know
they're,
it is.
They're getting upset over nothing, but they still dish. It seems like a little bit more to a female ref in that situation, but
trying to get
Anyways.
a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah.
The next call should
Yeah.
go my way. Or,
No, so I give
or
them
like that.
extra credit because
Yep.
the female refs that I've seen in those moments have just been completely dismissive and
Yeah. Well, good for them.
stand their ground.
When the female umpire, the next couple of games, she had to go out and be on the bases.
Yep.
And no controversy.
No.
You're out. You're safe. You're safe. The ball players bump up and okay, and they leave. And I'm sure they're told, okay, I know she's a woman, but treat her like every other umpire that you've ever come across. And players really don't like umpires, but
Right.
Respect and like that. And if you have a disagreement with her, fine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she'll probably be able to give it right back to you. And because I thought about that first time when she was behind the plate, there was a meeting at the mound of the players, and part of the umpire's job is to go out there and break it up. And so I'm like, wow, it's just you're this you're 5'3" amongst all these 6 foot and taller men standing around in a big conversation, and who knows what they're talking about when you get out there and say, okay, break it up. And there was a woman that was sitting next to me doing her job in the press box. I said, "Would you think you'd like to be an umpire?" And first she said no because she doesn't want to deal with the parents. And I said, no, at this level. And she said, oh no, dealing with those 6.5 guys out there. She goes,
Nope.
no, that's
Nope.
not for me.
I don't blame her.
So okay, but if you want to do it, great. So tell your daughters, women can be umpires in Major League Baseball.
Oh my gosh. Allie tried being a soccer ref for a couple of years and it didn't go well.
Didn't go well?
Parents
'Cause of
yelling.
parents?
Oh yeah, she got real puddly. She was like, I can't do this. I was like, okay.
Okay, that's one of the real things. You can't fall apart
You
emotionally.
can't.
You
No, but
cannot be
that's
crying on
laying
the
the
field.
groundwork. If you can't
Yeah.
hack it with parents yelling
Yeah.
at you, you're never going to go any
That's
further
right.
than that.
All right, that does it for the show for today. Thank you very much for listening in. Amanda LaRose, thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
All right, and Melissa Smith, thanks for coming in.
Good to be back. See you next week.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. Have a great day, everyone. Stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. Do your remembers at 9:30 here on ON Radio.
Are you?
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. A 30-year-old Rhode Island man is in a New Hampshire hospital after he was wounded in a shootout with Vermont state troopers on Sunday.